I was praying, and then I started speaking in tongues, and I said, no, I don't want the emergency tongues.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, Jesus, Jesus. And I started crying, and then I started laughing.
Has that ever happened to you before?
And I was laughing and crying at the same time. And I just felt blessed.
Yeah. I always get blessed watching you. Has that ever happened to you before?
Once.
Once.
In Brownsville.
In Brownsville. Oh, okay. Come on, give her a hand. That's awesome.
Well, I was just filled with his presence, with a joy that was unspeakable. That, I'd been going through just some stress, and I'd even told my husband the other day, I just want to crawl up in a corner in the woods and just be a wino. And Bill was like, well, I don't aspire to be a wino, Kim. But so last night, it was just like I was just being filled with wine that was so much better that comes in a bottle.
That's right.
And that's my testimony. I could have stayed all night.
Yeah,
I could have stayed all night.
Me too. Oh, that's awesome. Give her a big hand.
About 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with 2 bulging discs.
Did you have an accident?
Nope. They don't know what caused it. We don't know. And my arms were going to sleep, numb, and I couldn't even turn my head to touch my shoulders. And it would hurt. And this morning when I got up, the enemy started giving me a headache from it up my head. And I said, no, I do not receive that. And it's been gone ever since.
Amen. Amen. Come on.
Well, I have only been in the Pentecostal church for about 2 years now, and never had seen speaking in tongues or any of the other stuff that goes on here.
Yeah.
But I said I want that,
Yeah.
and I've heard it here quite often,
Yeah.
and I've been in a women's group, and I said, I want
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
And so when you called us up Sunday morning, Kim prayed with me, and all of a sudden my tongue went numb and started doing weird things that I wasn't wanting it to do.
Yeah.
And so I was baptized.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Come on, give her a big hand.
Andrea.
Andrea, what happened?
Okay, so I was sitting in my seat, and nobody really knows that I have scoliosis, and they probably know that I have asthma, but nobody knows I have scoliosis, and nobody knows that I have a shorter leg, because I don't introduce myself and say, hey, I'm Andrea and I have a short leg. That doesn't happen.
Right.
And so I was really shocked, and when you were talking about somebody who has a hip condition, I was sitting there and I didn't realize it was me, because I've had this since I was younger, and it's just become a part of me. So when I think of it, I just don't think of it as a condition. So I'm sitting there, and of course your mom's gonna know you the best, so she taps you. I'm like, what? Hip condition? I don't have a condition. And she's like, your hip does that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it does. And I'm waiting there for a minute, and you're like, there's somebody else, and it's a girl. And I'm like, so I go up there, and you're talking about the hip condition, and then when you start praying for me, you're like, God, I pray that you heal her of her scoliosis. And you didn't know I had scoliosis. And then you started talking about my breathing issue. And then
I gave that was like a prophetic word, right?
yeah. And then whenever you told me to sit down, and you was praying for me, my little right leg grew. And so I used to have this pain in my back, and it was kind of curved spine. And
like a bump, right?
Yeah, like a bump in a curved spine, and I haven't had that since.
Hey, come on. That's awesome.